right at 20,000. Everyone's been talking about buying 20,000. So usually what will happen, the market will push Bitcoin below that, making everyone question, stop out, get nervous, and then a lot of times you'll snap back.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Gareth Soloway showing us some of his Bitcoin price predictions and how Bitcoin prices could rise if the US dollar depreciates in value. According to the market strategist, a declination in the US dollar would mean a short-term positive for Bitcoin prices. As Bitcoin is neither used by a central bank nor backed by a government, the monetary policy tools, inflation rates, and economic growth indicators that traditionally impact the value of a currency do not apply to it. However, Gareth Soloway claims the cryptocurrency to be a very young asset compared to gold and would likely move wild until it attains maturity. Gareth Soloway has said that Bitcoin could drop as low as 12,000, representing a fall of more than 80% from its all-time high in November 2021. The same thing happened in December 2018 when Bitcoin fell below 3,000 for the first time. Take a look at the charts. Gareth Soloway claims the Bitcoin price will most certainly take a short-term break after some months, as the price can go as high as 30,000. Don't forget to comment below what you think. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. With no further ado, let's head straight to Gareth Soloway's Bitcoin price prediction.
Right at 20,000. Everyone's been talking about buying 20,000. So usually what will happen, the market will push Bitcoin below that, making everyone question, stop out, get nervous, and then a lot of times you'll snap back. And again, if you look at those other things like the 10-year pulling back, maybe the dollar pulling back, those could be little things that lift it back up there. But I do have a downside ultimate target of 12,000. So I mean, it's just an interim bounce, although it could be as much as 50% from 20 to 30, but nonetheless, it's just an interim bounce before further downside.
Bitcoin has been closely linked to stock indexes, particularly the Nasdaq, which climbed on Wednesday, June 15th, after the Federal Reserve of the United States raised interest rates by 0.75 percentage point. However, the tech-heavy Nasdaq plummeted by more than 3% on Thursday. The Federal Reserve raised its benchmark interest rate by 0.75 of a percentage point only a few days ago, the highest rise since 1994, and monetary authorities have suggested that they would continue to hike aggressively this year in order to combat inflation. Higher interest rates have damaged riskier assets such as cryptocurrencies, leading to Bitcoin's 70% slide from its all-time high in November.
Yeah, so generally you do see breaks of even numbers because the stops need to be flushed out that are put at 20,000. So I do think you'll see a short-term break, but I'm actually looking for a bounce off of that break. So I think you could go back as high as 30,000 over the next month or so. The key here is looking at the 10-year yield. We're starting to see a weekly topping tail on the 10-year yield. We know if the 10-year yield comes down, it's likely signaling risk on for things like Bitcoin and tech stocks. And then also looking at the dollar hit a major trend line as well. And if the dollar declines, then that is also a short-term positive for Bitcoin. So ultimately, great flush down to 20. I'd like to see it just flush out those stops. And then I think you start looking for a near-term bounce, unfortunately, before the next leg lower.
Bitcoin, the most important digital currency, has started the new trading week by falling below another psychological barrier of 25,000 and to an 18th-month low. Bitcoin was last trading at 18,833.50 per token, a loss of more than 8% on the day. The overall market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies is now about $835 billion, down more than 7% in the previous 24 hours. That's a big cry from months back when reports claimed a $3 trillion crypto market cap. BTC was worth $66,362 at the time, while Ethereum was worth $4,782. As the bear market develops, crypto investors will look for a bottom to re-enter. Bitcoin dipped below 20,000 for the first time since December 2020, as evidence of rising stress in the crypto industry rises amid monetary tightening. Bitcoin fell as much as 6% to 19.3 thousand in the early hours of Saturday. For the previous 12 days, the most valuable cryptocurrency in terms of market value has been decreasing. At the time of writing, Ether briefly fell below 1,000, its lowest level since January 2021, before rebounding. Fears of a recession are choking off the excitement.
Yeah, so if you're a trader or if you're someone who wants to swing trade, what you do is you put a very small order, maybe 19.5, 19.25. And again, make sure you understand you're trading counter trend. Counter trend is riskier. So you don't do a big amount. All right. Now you do a small amount. You understand that if it stays below 20 for a more than 2 or 3 days, you exit for a small loss and you look to rebuy at 12. If you get a bounce back to, let's say, 28 to 30, I would say sell into that and then wait patiently for that next flush that should take you down to hopefully 12 or so. I'm looking to buy. And just to be clear, you never know if 12 is the low. I certainly don't. That's what my charts are telling me. But I am a long-term believer in Bitcoin. So once we are below 20, I will slowly start to accumulate a long hodl position where I'll be buying maybe every 3,000 down, just small, accumulating that longer-term position.
The present bear market, which has now been termed a crypto winter, is also putting other initiatives to the test. USDD, an algorithmic stablecoin, lost its peg to the US dollar earlier this week. Tron DAO Reserve, which is in charge of keeping the USDD peg at $1, also keeps other cryptocurrencies in reserve, including stablecoins Tether and USDC. When the dollar falls in value, it is compared to other fiat currencies, however, not to Bitcoin. This is because Bitcoin was designed to be similar to gold, but electronic and much easier to interact with. According to Gareth Soloway, it should operate as a hedge against dollar collapse and rise when the USD falls. However, in a financial crisis, Gareth Soloway believes that people sell everything except treasuries, but once they get cash in their hands, they will try to invest in something better than the US currency, which is Bitcoin because it is rare and cannot be easily seized or taxed. Hear what Gareth Soloway has to say.
Yeah, so the 12,000 target comes from a measured move. If you take the high from November 2021 to the low that was back in, let's see here, in January before that 3-month consolidation, if you take that distance and drop it down, you get exactly right around 12,000. And then also, if you look at previous cycles on Bitcoin, there's always an 80 to 85% correction. So if you look at 80 to 85% of 69,000, you get 12,000 as well. So basically, what this is telling us, we know we have 4-year cycles in Bitcoin. Right now, we're right in the middle of that 4-year cycle, the down move, and also that 80 to 85% puts us right around 12,000. And bottom line is, you know, if you look at the NASDAQ isn't even back to pre-COVID highs yet, let alone an earnings recession, which is likely coming. And what that tells us is if the tech stocks still have another 10, 20, 30% downside, which I think they do, there's no way Bitcoin is stopping at 20 and then starting to reverse, because again, it's a risk on, risk off trade. If the NASDAQ falls sharply, you expect Bitcoin to follow suit.
Bitcoin means different things to different individuals. For cryptocurrency enthusiasts, Bitcoin is a digital counterpart of gold and a viable alternative to the US dollar, the world's reserve currency. Traditional market investors, on the other hand, view it as a risk-on asset akin to equities. This is seen by its increasing association with the S&P 500 and technology stocks. Bitcoin is still trading below the $20,000 threshold. However, Bitcoin was last in the $19,000 area in December 2020. At the time, reaching $19,450 was portrayed as a surge linked to the proposed US regulation of stablecoins. While reversals in the dollar are historically bullish for Bitcoin, do you think things could be different this time? Comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.